Gotta be careful when you're painting stuff. It's like you want to keep that color alive. I did a whole tutorial on just understanding color in comics. You can check it out, and it shows you what happens when you add white or black or a complementary color to a color and how it kills it. Often kills your color. So you got to be very careful. Now you have to kind of use white and black when you're painting something. Well, you don't have to, I guess, but okay, she's looking pretty good now. Yeah, I think that was something. There was something screwed with those eyes, and I fixed it. I think I fixed it, more or less. Let's get a brown. I'd be a dark brown here. Start to define some of these muscles a little better. Give her an Adam's apple. That's ma'am. With females, you really want to keep everything pretty soft if you can. All right, let's see if I can get some. That's too late. Give her some boobs by popular demand. I don't know about you guys, but when I draw a woman, it's kind of cool to draw the sort of suntan marks. Give her some cleavage. That's almost too red. Let's see. I want to get to more yellow. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But not too yellow. Don't want to make her jaundice. Let's see what folks are saying here. Oh, what paying work do I do? I do advertising work, Creative Faye, and so that's what sort of keeps the lights on and stuff. It does pay better than comics, unless you're on a really big selling comic book. She looks soft. Yeah, well, you want her to be soft. Well, I mean, you don't necessarily have to make her soft, but this is I'm planning on this to be pretty soft and pleasant looking. Might be the brow might be too arched, which is making her look soft. Maybe not necessarily though, because you could have like an evil lady, with high eyebrows, like, so I'm not sure if that's it. Yeah, painting with a stylus is great, and I'm using the Wacom tablet, but I tell you the the one that has the screen and stuff, but I don't even like it. I grew up using the. I grew up. I mean, most of my career I didn't have they weren't even available. Those ones you could draw on, which I'm actually looking at right now. So what I do is I sometimes like to use it for if I'm trying to trace something, but mostly I got so used to looking up at my screen as I draw down here, and so I still do that. What I do is I mirror the screens. So what's down here is up there, and I'm just looking at. That's why when you look at me drawing, I'm looking at my monitor. I'm drawing on my tablet. I'm using it like an old traditional tablet. So the good news is, what that means is you can find a Wacom tablet that's super cheap. They're not expensive, so easy to get those. Yeah. Creative Faye was just telling you they're pretty cheap. When you draw women, they don't show so much skin. Well, here's the thing: she's gonna have costume on, but when I draw anything, I'm drawing a female, male, anybody, I will draw them, and that's essentially naked, and then because I'm constructing it, I'm like building. I want to know when I put the clothing on them, how it's going to fit on the body. So I kind of got to do it. Although I know you're just kind of joking around, but what kind of advertising? Storyboards for TV and commercials and things like that. So thank you, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, that just pays so much better. That's what happened. I was in comics from 87 to 97, and I was making $400 a week in comics, and I had a young family, and it's like I can't raise a family at $400. That's 20 grand a year. That's poverty wages. No way. So I had to go into advertising, and storyboards. I mean, we're talking, at the time it was like $75 a frame, and you could do 6 or 8 of those a day. It's great. Now, of course, those assignments don't come out every day, but because they're really intense. When you're drawing on a campaign or an advertising campaign, it's like you're just drawing, like intensely all day long, and it's just it's kind of hard to do it. You kind of burn out, but you figure, okay, I didn't want to be one of those guys that was MIA, didn't see my kids. So there's a lot of art directors out there and advertising. They never saw their kids. They never saw daylight. Shit, let alone their kids. I just couldn't do that. So I had to do the storyboards. That was good. That was a good thing. Good fit. But I'm doing comics again because of the Comics Cake group and all that. So like people, and doing some stuff like I'm working on some chord wrath actually for Andy, which is what this character is. Andy Smith and Dennis Turner. They're on YouTube. They do great shows. Okay, she looks pretty cool. There's my... I'll just get rid of that layer. Add a couple layers. I'm going to add a layer for the costume and the hair, because I think she's kind of done. There's something weird about her, this shadow here on the face. On here, I think it's too long or something here. Does that look a little better? I think maybe yes. That collarbone. I've got to put the ear in. I forgot she's got to have ears, so she can hear all the wonderful things men say. Let's see. Does she have any? I don't know. I can't see if she has any. And I'm looking at my reference here. I don't see any earrings, but I can't see the ears. So in the reference I have. Okay, kind of like her. I don't know. There's something still about them eyes that are funky weird. Is it too much black maybe? Yeah, maybe that was it. I don't know. Maybe the eye highlight isn't even that great. Don't even care for it that much. Take it down. That might be that might be kind of nice. There's different kind of highlights you can do. Sometimes you can do these little spotlights like this. They're kind of cool. Like one on here on the pupil, or the eye, whatever you call the iris. I forget what the names are. Those are kind of cool. They're kind of shiny. Okay, let's get this. I see something that's bugging me though. Just these lines here. They're a little too dark. Knock them back. Okay, let's give this chick some hair. Actually, I think I'm going to paint really her almost bald here, just to make sure I got the right sort of reflections on the head. So she's going to look like V'ger for a second here. You know, it's looking kind of cool, I have to say. I'm happy with it. She's coming together. It's funny how I'll be working on something. I know what I'm doing, and I'm going at it, and I'm just breaking it down with the knowledge that I have and the memorization of shapes and forms. And then all of a sudden I look at it and go, hey, that looks cool. Like, you know, I can't really see it. And all of a sudden you pull back and go, oh. It doesn't suck. Okay, hair time. I think I'll try this with the brown base here to start with. Got to bring the hairline in down a little bit more too. That's another thing that big forehead can also little babies and children have bigger foreheads, so that can make her look more girly. So she's a redhead, but you're in illustration and comics, you kind of make them, you can kind of make them like keep the color, and you can make it really comic-y. So there could be a really red orangey color. So I'm going with just give myself a good old-fashioned orange here. Wait a minute, that's the erase tool. Okay, now I'm going to go for some yellow. Pull it back to some red. She is definitely flaming hair here. Okay, I gotta put some rads around this face to find this. All right. Not too shabby. Oh, there's Marcus. Hey, Marcus, how are you? There's Paulus. Let me check these comments out. What comics did I work on? Well, it's 87. I started off with Cloak and Dagger, and then something called Shadow Masters, and I did a bunch of different things. The main thing I'm kind of noted for, and you can look these up, is I'm talking to War Habit here, by the way. The main thing you could look up is my Fleer Ultra Marvel cards. I did like the Hulk versus Wolverine, and Spider-Man versus Wolverine. It's a bunch of cards, and those are what people seem to remember most of my comic book work at Marvel. But I think my best work is probably the stuff I did at Dark Horse, which would be Barbed Wire, which they made into a really bad movie, and then Agents of Law, which was an interesting story. I thought the Dark Horse stuff was the best at the time. Really interesting stuff. So, Paul, your comments aren't showing up. I can see it, so I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, Paul. Again, the Intuos tablets are pretty inexpensive. So, oh, and Marcus is putting a link into Cordrath, so we can, if you want to check that out and maybe back it, that would be greatly appreciated by Andy Smith and company. Now, another thing maybe about her looking to make her look a little tougher, maybe is the nose. Could be a little bit too cutesy. I may want to flare it a little bit more. So you can see it's getting a little more, just a tad, just a touch masculine. Touch more masculine. All this stuff is so subtle. You just move things just a tiny bit this way or that way, and it makes a big difference. I think I might have to blue these shadows up a little bit. You can see how it makes it look like it's more of a direct light now, stronger light when you put a blue shadow in. Okay, that line right. Flare up those eyes even more, perhaps. Okay, she's starting to look tougher now, I think. That's the trick, is to make her look tough, but not manly. Okay, let's pull it back, see what it looks like. I think it's pretty good. I think what I might do too with the with these cheeks. I can add, I've add just red now and orange, but I'm going to actually go to my pink, hot pink, and splash a little bit of pink on the cheeks. Maybe just the nose too, a little bit. That's another way to warm up something on a face. And give it color variation too. If you can, get color variation in your paintings. That's actually something I need to work on more. But see, now it's come alive. I think that was a good move. Okay, the hair is not there yet. Let's see where we at in comments. My comments don't go by very fast, so I can read them easily. Morticia Adams, yeah, yeah, she definitely had a big forehead. And also, see, that's a good example because she had a big forehead, and in proportion, then I don't even know if her nose was large or small, but in proportion, it looked smaller, looked more childlike. Oh, you remember those cards? Thank you. Yeah, I was talking about the Marvel cards I did. I still have a whole bunch of those. They did send me a big packet. That was back in the days when they cared, Marvel DC. Yeah, Cloak and Dagger, that was my first work, and it pretty much sucks. But Barbed Wire is definitely when I got it together. Near the end of my career there, comic career. Oh, you mentioned what happened, Marcus or Paulus? I know that's weird. Yeah, everybody remembers those cards. Yeah, that was interesting. Now, also another thing that I did was kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys saw this or remember this, but it was a 3-part. Just as I painted those cards, I did a 3-part, fully painted comic book of Star-Lord, written by who's the famous Star Wars writer. Anyways, you could look it up. Star-Lord. And Marvel and Dan Lawlis. My God, I always forget his name. But yeah, so that was kind of fun. That was really neat because and you want to find out how good or bad of a painter you are. Try painting a comic book. And the thing is, you're like this. I'm when you're doing one like this, you there's no time for looking up all kinds of reference and shit like that. So. You find out what you don't know and what you do know. Try painting like this and you'll find out just what you know and what you don't know real fast. And you'll realize that, you want to give up art. No, don't give up. But it is frustrating. But then you find your flaws and then you go back and you look and say, where do I need to improve? What knowledge don't I have? And then you go fill in that knowledge. I always ask you, look at the best stuff you love, and then you go, why is mine doesn't look like his? And then whatever that is, just duplicate that and get to work. Just lines on paper. Just got to put them in the right place. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, it's study. It's no different than studying for an exam, studying for school. You got to memorize all these shapes, all these forms. And I've been doing this for 37 years now. And it's still, not automatic. I mean, I'm much better than I, was in the beginning, but it's really, I got to go back. I'm playing with it. Oh, that's a little bit there. It's not like I know everything about it. I learn as I go, and so that's the way it goes.